Okay, next video. Um, I'm gonna tell you a little bit personal story about myself. So, as you know, I have stated this. I have autism and a rare chromosome disorder. So it causes a lot of issues in my life. And there are some things that stand out more about me than the regular person with autism. I do have a little bit of OCD habits, like I like to have things organized and in a certain way a lot. When I make my bed, I have to make sure it's perfect, like hotel perfect, you know? Like perfect on both sides even, And I'll go around 4 or 5 times, and if I can't get it correctly, then I'll get frustrated. It has to be even on both sides of the bed, And also, my clothes need to be a certain way. Like I have, my summer clothes on the left side of my closet, and then my winter clothes on the right side of my closet at my mom's house. And if one is out of order, then I would get kind of in a panic, and then reach it and then put it back where it's supposed to go. Right? I have everything organized. I'm a very, very, very organized person. But I also have psychotic tendencies as well. So like, my emotions run high. So, like, when I'm happy, like happiness to me, like just plain happiness to me, I will get extremely excited, like right away. Get extremely excited, And where I can't calm down, I am talking like a million miles an hour, and I won't even let the person talk to me back. Because I'm just like so excited, my emotions get the better of me. I just go from like happiness to excitement in like seconds. When I am agitated or frustrated, I will yell and raise my voice and that, and I can do that. I guess it depends on the situation, When I am angry, I go into a rage, Like if somebody was saying something to somebody else that wasn't appropriate, or being mean and nasty to somebody else, I would honestly go psychotic and I would beat them up or attack them in some way, When I am sad and somebody hurts my feelings, my cries are like really, really, really heartbreaking. I mean, like, my cries, even just when my dad gave me a card on even a happy cry, my dad gave me a card and I was gonna cry, well, sometimes my emotions get like so high, like I have cried, and it is almost like the whole world is coming to an end. It's like my mom, my dad, my grandma, my gramps, and everybody is gonna die tomorrow. It's like all of them have the disease and they're all gonna be gone tomorrow. So that's what it feels like, and that's what I sound like too. Just that extreme, extreme, extreme cry. Like, I'm never gonna see my family again, never, ever, ever kind of cry. Even though it is not like that, even though it is not like that, like it could be just somebody saying something to me that isn't very nice. And I guess many other feelings too could it's just my feelings in general are extreme. So yeah, that's the psychotic type behaviors. And there was a time where it's like I became so enraged because there was, when I used to play on the and on the Integrated Baseball Association, it was a baseball league that was integrated, so it was people with special needs and people without, right? And it was mostly used for like, most people just went there just to get out and exercise, and because when you hit the ball you have to run the bases, right? The only difference is that you would have your own person pitching to you. They would have you try to hit the ball. It's not like regular baseball or even Special Olympics baseball. Your own team member would be pitching to you. They would try to have you hit the ball. So, and one time, somebody on my team, got very, very, very angry when things didn't go his way, and he acted inappropriately. So I didn't end up going half the time. I ended up having to leave because it was just, I felt like that if I stayed there, that then I would have lost it. I would have freaked, and then I would have been gone because I would have looked like the bully. I would have been kicked off. So I didn't. So every time I wanted to go, it's like they get me ready and then I change my mind, because I was so excited to go, but it was like at the last minute, it's like, yeah, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be going, because it was like, I tried telling mom and dad that, but they discarded it, like, and I guess because of that, I felt disrespected. I felt like not very respected. I didn't feel like my feelings were taken into consideration, just like they were as a kid. They weren't taken into consideration in that, and so over the course of the couple weeks, I tried to tell them, but and then it got to the point where it was like, well, Well, I gotten to the point where I literally had it. I have had it, you know, and my my mental health crisis almost got to me, and I I honestly was almost thinking about getting a baseball bat and then taking it and smashing somebody's, like the neighbors on the street's vehicles and that, until they were not able to be fixed and that. I was just, and then I had thoughts about killing my own parents, you know? I tested my dad, and I said, Dad, you know, I feel like I'm gonna end your life. I really want to, well, I didn't really want to, but it was like, Dad, you know, I feel like I want you dead, you know? You know? I feel like I'm gonna kill you, you know? That's what I said to my mom as well. I said, Mom, you know, I have this terrible feeling and this terrible sick feeling, and that I told her, I said, I paused there for a minute, and I said, you know, Mom, I feel like ending your life. I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like, I feel like taking a chainsaw and cutting you and Dad's head off and that, and then stabbing my sister, you know, stabbing Lindsay and that. So at first my mom didn't take me seriously because I guess, well, why would she, I guess? And I can kind of see why, because I guess because of what was bothering me because of baseball, and because I felt like my feelings weren't being considered. I guess I could have snapped, but I didn't. I chose not to. And they did eventually get the psychiatrist on the line, you know, the people that worked in his office, and they told him about it, and I guess he gave me this strong medication and that, which I would never want to take again, not even if I did have that problem. Never, ever, ever, because, and it did help, it did calm my brain down, right? But once I was back in the right state of mind, right? Um, my eyes went all hazy, and it looked like I was, like somebody that, it would look like that somebody, I guess, if you took a drug away from somebody but you didn't replace it with anything, I guess it was that withdrawal, you know? And my mom looked at me and said, yeah, my eyes were hazy and milky and that, and I didn't look right, so they stopped taking it, and then, so I stopped taking it and that, and haven't had that experience since for quite a few years now, you know? But that is a point about a psychotic episode, is that it can cause you to feel like, if you have psychotic tendencies in that, it can cause you to want to cause harm, even to the people you care about. And it can cause you to snap. But I don't want to. The reason that I didn't is because I don't want to live with the sadness and the guilt. I don't want all that bad publicity on me. Because I love to make friends. I love to socialize with people. I don't want to, be in a mental institution and then have to get out, and then getting out eventually, and then no matter where I go in public, there's always people gonna be like commenting, and I would hear people hearing like, ew, she's awful and that, and can't believe she's out on the streets or something like that. You don't know. So yeah, I don't want to be hated by people. I want to be known as somebody that they can go to with advice about bullying. I want to be a nice friend. I want to be like somebody that they're proud to be friends with, or proud even to have talked to, And not only that, I love my mom and dad, right? I thought about, waking up in the morning and then seeing their smiles and hugging them. Sometimes, when I did think about that, it was very short, but it was still enough, that to make me think, well, if I did that, then I would never be able to get that opportunity, despite the fact that I feel disrespected, lots of people feel disrespected in that. And yeah, lots of people have probably thought about killing their parents or running away or something, but they still don't do that because they make the choice not to. They choose not to do that because they know that they're loved. They know that their parents love them. So, yeah, and the reason I'm saying this is because there is a teenager recently that I saw not too long ago who has mental health issues, and he was planning on shooting up his school and that, you know? Because he was obsessed with the Columbine and that, you know? And he had planned out what he was gonna do. Same as I did. I kind of planned out that I was kind of planning on how I was gonna kill my parents and that, but it was just in the heat of the moment kind of thing. It never happened prior to that. But I have had horrible thoughts and urges before, you know, against people, you know, against other people who acted in ways that I didn't like, or, you know. But even though I had a psychosis type crisis, you know, and even though, yes, I wasn't angry and my parents had nothing to do with it, I was more angry with somebody else. I still chose not to do that because I care about people. I care about myself, basically. I don't want to walk around on the streets and being treated like a criminal, being treated like a horrible person just because I did something that was extremely bad, right? I thought about that, and so even if my parents still didn't take me seriously, the phone was right there. I would have grabbed the phone, and I would have dialed 911 to get an ambulance. I have no guarantee of there, because I literally did grab the phone. And I said to my mom that I was gonna dial 911. And then she took it seriously, because it was like, as soon as she saw me pick up the phone, it's like, okay, this is serious, you know? Because I literally picked up the phone and I literally turned it on, you know? So, and even if you don't have that support, you know, you don't have to go for a gun. You don't have to, you know, go for a gun when the phone is right there. It doesn't take 2 minutes to just call an ambulance or call somebody and describe what your problem is and that, and tell somebody, you know, what is going on and what is happening, you know? That would be the most responsible thing to do, you know? Majority of people do have mental health issues. They don't go out and do things like that, you know? Yes, I'm pretty sure they have thought about it, but that doesn't mean that they would go out and do it. And I am certainly one of them people, you know? You know? They don't want to get bad publicity. They don't want to get criminal record. They don't want to have that criminal. They don't want to have that burden on them, right? Well, neither do I. And that's the only reason what stopped me from doing it. Because it's like, well, I don't want to, you know, because there's so many people that committed crimes that are not even a big deal, right? And they get mug shots, and they get criminal records, and some of them people have been trying to find a job for 10 or 15 years. Nobody would hire them because they've been in jail. Because they, or at least been in trouble anyway. You know? So, yeah, even if you didn't go to jail, not, and you have to pay a fine or something like that, you still have, people would still know that you're a criminal because, you'd be on the news and that. And that would just be impossible enough. That would just be enough to not have somebody hire somebody, That's not the way I want to live, I want to be able to, like I like to go out there and paint and sell my art. Do you think anybody's, like I have made money selling art before. If people knew that I had smashed a vehicle or did something like that, do you honestly think people would buy my art from me? I don't think so. Because I know I certainly wouldn't buy somebody's art if I knew, or if I heard that they've done something stupid. I would be a little bit hesitant to buy that person's art myself. So, you gotta think about that, right? Like a hobby that you enjoy doing, and like some people really like cutting grass from people. Do you really think people are gonna pay anybody who's out there causing trouble and have them pay a lot of fines even if they're not in jail? Right? Imagine if somebody just snapped and killed their parents or killed whoever. And then they happen to go to a mental health institution or something. It's like, it doesn't matter what kind of hobbies they take up when they're in there. It's like, even if they choose to paint and that, nobody's gonna want to buy their artwork. Nobody's gonna want to do that. Very few people will. And you just can't, you just get a lot of bad publicity. And you may not even be a bad person, but you just get a lot of bad publicity, that's all. And so I think people should have more common sense than to do something like that. People should start to have more feelings for other people, right? Then people wouldn't have to like feel like they need to support the community, like I said. They can just figure it on their own if that's something they want to do or not. They shouldn't have to do that job because of their traumatic experiences. They shouldn't, no. They shouldn't have to feel they need to do that just because some idiot came and started shooting up a bunch of people in a school or at an event or something, or, at a festival or something, Doesn't matter where, And it certainly is, and it certainly doesn't give any, and it certainly won't solve anything if the person went out and did that, you know? No matter how ignorant and bitchy and shitty people are. Or even shitty, even how life is shitty to them, you know? Could be just life in general that's shitty to them. Does not solve anything to go and kill a bunch of people, you know? Does not solve anything. That doesn't solve anything, you know? Like, if I had killed my parents years ago because I was angry at somebody else, that would only make it worse. That would have only made it worse, you know? Just because I felt disrespected, that would have only made it worse, you know? For me and everybody around me. It wouldn't solve anything. It wouldn't have solved anything. So, I don't know why people plan to do that kind of stuff and plan for a day or two, you know, just to do something like that. You know? Because with me, it wasn't like a total planning. It was just more of a, you know, like, Mom and Dad, I feel like I want to kill you. You know? It's more like I feel like I want to kill you. You know? And I have thoughts of how I'm gonna do it, but, you know. And I really don't want to do it. So it's like, you know, same with this teenager. You know, he probably has urges and that and thoughts of doing it. And yeah, he most likely in my mind he probably would have done it. But I'm not gonna judge. I myself am not gonna judge because I'm not him. I don't know if it was just in his mind, it could have been a fantasy, but in his mind it could have been like more of a thought thing that he had that day. And whether he was gonna do it or not, I don't know. But I guess he got arrested because he planned to do it. And I guess in that person's mind, when he sent the thing that he to somebody he knew, I guess the person called the police because they felt scared, you know? But there's a difference between saying, well, Mom and Dad, I want to end your life and I want you guys dead, than saying, Mom and Dad, I feel like I have this urge to end your life and I feel like I could do it I could do it very soon. You know? There's a difference between saying something like that, you know? Because normally your thoughts comes with feelings, right? An urge is different than a thought, right? And I guess, yeah, I did have that urge as well, but I chose not to follow through with it, you know? Because like I said, I didn't want bad publicity put on me. I didn't want that side of me, to be known, and only that to be known, right? I mean, yeah, I want people to accept me for, like, my dark side and my way of thinking, and even if it's not okay. But I also want people, but I mostly want people to know me because I'm funny. I love to socialize. I love to crack funny jokes. I love animals. I love dogs and cats. And I love to spend time with my family, including my parents. So I love to be positive. I'm more of a glass half full type person. And so, yeah, it's always good to, like, when somebody tells you something that they don't like and how they feel about it, it's always good to be like, oh, yeah, I know what you mean, and that. Um, you know? So you want people to know that side of you, but you also want people to know you, but you mostly want people to know you for your good side, right? And that teenager, he might not be a horrible person, but now everybody's gonna view him as a horrible person and view him as a criminal because of his stupid decision to do something like that, to plan on doing something like that, you know? So he should have definitely known better. Despite the fact that he had mental health issues, he should have known better. You know? You know? Whether he was being serious or not, I can't say, but you know, that doesn't make him a horrible person. But it's planning on what he was gonna do. You know? That's what makes people view him as a horrible person, and that might not be who he really is, you know? I mean, I was pretty bad at times when I was in school. But I was also very nice to my friends and the people around me. So people saw my good side as well. And the people that accepted me as a friend knew I had a bad side, but they accepted me for more my good side. You know? They saw past that. And you know, but if I went to jail or if I, you know, did anything and the police put me in jail for that, people would view me as a criminal, even people that don't know me, and, that's the worst feeling ever, you know? So it's like, why would I do something like that? Why would I jeopardize and have people view me as a criminal who has no regard and no compassion for other people and how their own families feel, you know? Why would I want people to think that way about me? Well, maybe other people should think that way too before they do and plan something stupid like that, you know? It doesn't hurt to have common sense, people. Hello? For fuck's sakes, people. Like, get a grip and get a life. Like, seriously. Like, seriously. Like, seriously. Like, have common sense. Like, have a brain, people. You have a brain in there. Use it. Please. Please use your brain. You know?